the Perfect Partner Podcast. It's a show for those of you who have not given up on love despite its challenges, where we have those difficult but productive conversations about different things that can really affect your relationship. I am your host, Erin F. Darden. I am an emotional intelligence and relationship coach, and I am on a mission. Well, I think it's my journey, my purpose right now, to help you understand the importance of emotional intelligence in building and maintaining healthy romantic relationships. Like I said earlier, today is the last episode in season 1 of the Perfect Partner Podcast. I appreciate each and every one of you for showing up week after week to engage in conversations with me. I hope that you have found the conversations helpful. I hope that they have been thought-provoking and, caused you to go back and, just think about things that you are doing in your relationship or in your dating life, and things that you could possibly do better, right? That is why I'm here. Like I said, I am not here to give advice. I am here to guide you to the answers that you already have. And so that's how I use my platform. Um, One other thing before we jump in today's episode, the last couple of weeks I had been telling you guys about my January class. I actually misspoke. My class is on January the 14th from 2 to 6 p.m. Becoming a Perfect Partner workshop. It is the ultimate goal setting and personal development workshop for women in committed relationships or that want to be in a committed relationship, where we are going to first celebrate your accomplishments of 2023. But then it's time for me to get in your business, and we are going to identify your areas of growth, things that will make you first a better human being, and then second, a better partner. So enrollment is now open. So make sure you guys go ahead and reserve your seat now. The workshop is 4 hours. So it's going to be pretty intense. I'm going to get definitely in your business, but it's all out of love, right? That's the only way we can grow. The workshop is $49, only $49, to come up with a plan for 2024 to make sure that you end the year better than what you started it. So with that, I am ready to jump into this episode. So we have a very special guest with us this afternoon for the last episode of this season. We are going to, talk to my mom. Earlier this week, I asked you guys what questions you would ask of somebody that's been married for 50 years. And you guys gave me lots of questions. And so the reason that we are talking to my mom is that in June, my parents will have been married for 50 years. It's a long time to be looking at the same person. And so I have asked my mom to come and join us. Here she is. Say hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Not say hi, Mom. I always got to play. You could play, though. But so I have asked my mom to come and join us to talk about all the different stages of their relationship, from meeting as, I think, teenagers to becoming a caregiver, 50 years of marriage. I don't know. And believe it or not, guys, I actually have never really asked these questions. So we're all going to find it out together. So I have no idea what's about to happen or what she's going to say. So we won't find out together. And I would say that this is probably going to end up being one of my favorite episodes, even though I feel like I say that about everyone. But this one in particular, because I am the direct beneficiary of this marriage of 50 years, I don't know if we truly understand the effect relationships have on children. And I absolutely, when anybody ever asks me, like, what do I attribute my success to? I always start with the solid foundation I had growing up, and even now, right? I think the foundation that my parents provided, at least to me, I can't speak for my brothers, is definitely the reason that I am successful today. I think it is the reason that I have the courage to, right, stop being an attorney and pursue this, emotional intelligence stuff to help you guys in your relationships. So it definitely helped me to be confident, because I always knew that I had a strong foundation, and I always knew that I have, even at my big grown age, I still have their support. whether that be emotionally, financially, or anything else. I know that I still have that, and I don't take it for granted. I don't know if I ever told you thank you, but I definitely appreciate the foundation that you guys given me. Just just talking to different people, and how people have had to start working at a young age, and I didn't. I was fortunate not to have to worry about any of those things. And so, because I feel like I had the opportunity to really just focus on me and developing my skills and my talents, I feel like that has a lot to do with where I am in life. So, Mom, thanks. Dad, thanks. I'm happy that you're here, Mom.
I'm glad to be with you, sweetheart.
Can you guys hear her? I just want to make sure. I've never done an in room interview.
Okay.
Here's a delay. Yes, okay, they can hear you. So, Mom, y'all have been married for almost 50 years. How many years together?
57.
Together 57 years,
57
married
years.
50,
Yeah.
almost 50 years. June to be 50 years.
Right.
That's a long time. All right. So I want to start from the beginning. How did you meet my dad?
Okay. I was like a golden child of my family. There were 3 older siblings. Then I came. So my parents were very protective of me. I didn't go to parties. The boys seemed like they were so immature because I had 3 older sisters, and I'd rather sit on my sister's cellar steps and watch them in the basement because I was too young to go down than go out to the parties that my friends were going to. January 67, me and my girls, we were club solo. We had the same color dress on. There were only 5 of us, but we thought we were fly. Okay. And I saw this young boy going across the basement. We had basement cellar parties then.
We had basement parties growing up. Y'all had basement parties?
Hey, girl, come on.
What y'all used to call them? We used to call them dollar holler parties.
Oh, no, we didn't pay.
Oh, we paid.
Sometimes they were red light, but it was okay. And I saw him walking across the basement. I thought, oh, that's good husband material. Not for me. I just thought he had good husband material. He had these nice tan pants on. Oh, he was nice. I don't remember how he asked me out, but we went out. I couldn't go to prom together or anything like that.
Wait, let's back up. How old were you at this point?
I was almost 18.
Okay.
Almost 18.
Were you were in 12th grade?
We were in 12th grade.
Okay.
Okay. So we went out together, and for 7 years, but for some reason we just knew we were going to get married. We just knew we were going to get married.
Go ahead. I'm going to ask questions.
Okay, so we knew we were going to get married, but we were completely different people. Okay, so when we finally did get married, I almost lost myself in my husband. Whatever he wanted, I was on that honeymoon glow. You want to go to this meeting? Okay, baby, I'll go with you. You want to do this? Okay, baby, I'll do this with you. And then I sat and I thought, well, maybe I don't want to go there anymore. So I just stopped. I found other people to do things with. My husband doesn't like camping. I found people I like to camp with. My husband doesn't like to travel. I have a lifelong friend today now that we travel together. So you find someone to plug into that certain spot where it's okay for someone to plug into.
All right, we got to back up. Okay. You just skipped over a whole lot. I got questions.
Okay, question me, baby.
So you said you saw him walking across this party.
Yes.
And you knew that he was good husband material.
Right.
How? What was it?
It was just something in me that said, ooh, that's good husband material.
No conversations, nothing.
No conversation. We didn't meet that night or anything. I don't remember how we finally got together, but I just saw him and I knew. Not for me. I just said that's good husband material.
So how did it turn to be your husband?
We somehow got together. I forgot how he asked me out. I don't remember. Our first date, we went to some kind of little carnival or something like that.
Did he win you a teddy bear?
Nah, we don't. No teddy bear or anything involved like that, The hardest part of that was meeting his mother, because they were older parents, and he was their golden child. So that was kind of rough, meeting her and her sister to break through that barrier. But I hung in there.
All right, so you're still skipping. We got to back up. I got questions. We got to fill in the gaps here.
Okay.
So y'all finally get together. Y'all been together so long, you don't even remember how you met.
Right.
Because 57 years is a long time ago. Right. Somebody said, what you hiding? I'm about to ask the questions and figure it out. So y'all were dated. You don't remember how you got together or how you actually met. At some point, it changed. Y'all start dating. 7 years of dating. What is that like?
7 years of dating. What I wanted to do, I just went ahead and did. Nothing that would tarnish our relationship. Like if someone asked me out to go, like, just as a friend, I'd go out to dinner or to a movie or things like that. I didn't let him stop me. No.
With other men?
Yes, people dated. I mean, I wasn't his exclusively, then he never said, oh, you're exclusive. People used to date. Now they have, if you see one person going out with someone, they go, that's his man, that's her man. You can't tell, that's her man. Date other people.
Wait, you dated people the whole 7 years until y'all got married?
Yeah.
Mom! I mean, I believe in dating multiple people. However, once y'all have a conversation about we gonna do this long term and exclusivity, you only supposed to date one person.
Okay, but if he's going to stay home and sit and watch television all the time, and I'm a person who wants to go out, I'm not going to sit there. I'm not going to sit there all the time like that. I want to go out and have some fun. Yes.
You was cheating on my dad.
That's not cheating. I tell him where I was going. Of course, I tell him where I was going, who I was going with. He had no problem with it. I had no problem with it. People don't date anymore.
No, that's not dating, Mom. That's cheating.
It's not when you're telling the person.
Yes, it is. So this is year number 6. So we really locked in at this point. If you still going to see other people and going out and dating at year 6, 7, that's cheating. That's not dating, Mom.
It's cheating if the person doesn't know. If I always told him where I was going, who I was going with, there wasn't any overnight anything involved, If someone wanted to take me out, which I didn't go out a lot, I would go out usually with a coworker. I can't remember ever going out with anyone who was like a coworker or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as he knew what I was doing, and that was showing me that I wasn't cheating. I was telling him where I was going, who I was going with. It was usually a coworker or someone I'd gone to school with. Fine. It worked out for us.
We're just going to have to agree to disagree.
Okay.
We can agree to disagree on that point.
Okay.
So, y'all date for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I went away to school for a year. Came back, we got married.
So how did y'all get married? Like he proposed to you?
Yes. I made him get down. He got down on his knees.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was a conclusion anyhow.
You can't say you knew if you were still out here dating.
I knew. We knew. What? We knew.
So why were you dating other people?
Because he wanted to sit home and I didn't.
Okay. So you get married.
Yes.
June 26th.
29th.
1974.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Okay. So you get married.
Yes.
What was the relationship like then?
What do you mean, what was it like?
Like, did you move in with him? Like, did y'all get your own place?
Oh, we got into the apartment downstairs from your grandparents' house.
Okay, so you lived in the downstairs apartment.
On the 3rd floor, yeah.
Or upstairs apartment.
1st and 3rd.
Okay. So did you guys get married with the idea that like he was going to take care of you forever and ever and ever?
My stipulation when we got married.
Stipulation?
Was, yes. If he ever hit me, I was gone.
Okay.
And I had to work because I worked hard for that degree.
What kind of degree do you have?
I was a teacher, right?
Yeah, I'm just asking. They don't know.
Okay.
I know.
Oh, okay. I was an elementary teacher. So it felt why would I? Like his mother sat home. She didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So by seeing that, I wanted him to know that I wasn't going to sit home. I was going to use the degree I worked for.
And so how old are you when you got married?
25.
25. You have a teaching degree. He's an accountant. Was he an accountant by now?
No, he was still going to school.
He was still in school at St. Joe's. LaSalle. Yes, LaSalle. Okay. Y'all get married. Y'all move in.
Mm-hmm.
What was that dynamic like? So you said you had to work, so you didn't want him to like just take care of you.
Right.
That's interesting. Okay.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Why you say it so strongly? What's wrong with being taken care of?
No, not for me. Okay, that's okay with some people, not for me.
Why not for you?
Because I worked hard for it. I wanted to work.
Okay, so you wanted to work.
Yes.
So I was going to say, how old was he? Y'all clearly the same age. They're only 2 months apart. May 2nd, July 2nd. Real gay. So you're both 25. You tell him you want to work. So how did y'all, like, did y'all have a lot of money? How was everything split? Like, what was that like?
Okay, we didn't have a lot of money because
Mm-hmm.
we were both just starting out. It's never 50-50.
Okay.
So you can just forget that. Sometimes you can put 30% and you can put 70 or vice versa. So we just worked at it.
So sometimes you had to pay more?
Of course.
Of course.
Yes. If it's a partnership, nothing's ever 50-50.
Okay.
If it's a partnership, you have to work together.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'm all right with that.
All right.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not my relationship. So y'all working together. It's not 50-50. What were your biggest lessons from, well, you probably not going to remember, from like what was the first few years of marriage like? What did you learn, if you remember, so long ago?
The first 2 years I still was in that honeymoon glow, I told you.
Okay.
Where whatever he wanted, I would do.
Okay.
You want to do this, if you want to do it, okay, I'll sit home with you for a little while.
Uh-huh.
But then I woke up and said, nah, I can't do this. I'm not happy. I had to be happy too.
So you weren't happy just kind of following behind him and what he wanted.
Right.
Okay. And so you said, this isn't happy. I'm not happy with this. I'm not riding your tail coat. And you decided what?
That I would, I developed a really good friend when I was at Cheney.
Mm-hmm.
And she's pretty much, we're the same person.
Mm-hmm.
So she likes to do things that I like to do. I found a person to do things I like to do. I like to go to the Y. She likes to go to the Y. I like water aerobics. I like line dancing. So you find people to plug in that spot where you're not dating again. There's no more dating.
So, okay, so now I have this question. Because you guys it seems that you have such different interests, right? You said he liked to stay at home, but you wanted to go out, or you like to travel and he doesn't. For me, that would be a deal breaker. Like, I don't think I would be with anybody that doesn't like to travel, where we don't live a complementary lifestyle. That's how I like to say it. You don't got to go with me every time, but you got to go on a trip with me. But it seems like you guys had such different interest and all of that. So you said, why were you okay with that?
It was up because, as we used to say, he had my nose open. I mean, he's just all to me that I can't explain it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I find other people to do things he doesn't want to do.
Okay.
Because I love him so much. It's just so much love there.
And what did he do to make you have your nose open?
Just him. Just being him.
Just because?
Just because it's him.
He didn't have to do anything special.
No.
He did. What?
Nope, he didn't have to do anything special.
That's crazy. So once you decided you got to live your own life too,
right?
How did Daddy take that?
What was he going to do?
That's not nice.
No, yes it is. I mean, what was he going to do?
So he was just like, okay.
Okay. I mean,
did he say?
What's the alternative? No, we didn't have this conversation.
You just stopped doing stuff that he was doing?
Yeah. Simple as that. Why? What's the problem?
So you just stopped. So is this when you were on the bowling team with him?
Well, he had to stop. So I simply stopped. But I like bowling.
Okay, so
a lot of the things that he did I liked.
Uh-huh.
But like going to the church meetings all the time, I stopped that after a while. I was like the last wife standing, as one of the laymen put it.
And he was just okay with once you stopped?
Didn't mention it. I didn't mention it. I said, I'm not going. He said, okay.
He just said, okay. That's interesting. So y'all have different personalities, clearly. Yes. He likes to stay home and you like to go out and live your life.
Right.
Like how did you navigate that?
What do you mean?
Like it didn't pose a problem?
No. Why would it pose a problem? I left him to do what he wanted to do. He left me to do what I wanted to do. I would let him know where I was going, when I'd be back. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
So I don't understand.
It sounds so simple, but I feel like it's not really that simple.
It really is that simple. Now people are so intense. You go out with one person, that's your boo. You can't go out with anybody else. That's ridiculous.
Oh, I don't believe
Which
that.
I don't understand that. The only thing is we're married. I didn't do anything to tarnish our marriage. I let him know that he was always welcome. He's always welcome to go with me. I'd say, baby, do you want to go somewhere? He'll say no. I said, okay. And I go ahead and do what I want to do. Simple as that.
Oh, okay. Sounds simple as that. All right. So, with the different personalities,
Yeah.
did you guys argue a lot?
Nah.
No?
No, why?
I'm just asking.
I'm just wondering why we argue. I'm trying to think of what argument. I mean, we have argued, of course.
Right.
But I can't remember what the argument's about.
Of course.
Probably when I wanted to move and he was dragging his feet.
Uh-huh. So
I found a house.
You wanted to move out of my mom's house?
Right.
Okay.
And I couldn't understand why we couldn't move. I think maybe that was the biggest problem with him dragging his feet about trying to find someplace else, another house for ourselves.
Okay. And what did you do?
I said, okay. I went with him for a good while, until I was driving past here. And I saw the house. I said, okay, baby, I found the house.
And I found out, and then what?
He came and looked at it. We contacted the realtor.
Mm-hmm.
He came and looked at it. Of course, before we came in, he said it's too small. Of course, it's not, because it's 4 bedrooms. And that's it.
And he said, okay, he was on board after that.
Yes, pretty much.
Okay. Well, we fast forward a whole lot. We're going to go back because we bought this house in 89 when I was 1 year old. So we've been in the house since then. Okay. So no real arguments. The first few years, didn't have a lot of money, but you felt like you were, riding his tailcoat. You decide, that's not what I want. I'm going to live my life too. You find friends to do stuff with. So how did the dynamics change once you started having kids?
It felt like I was doing more with the kids
than
your dad. Mm-hmm. That wasn't very. I felt. I don't know how to put it. Like of course he wasn't doing his part.
Okay.
When the kids were little, and I had to stay in the house, he had to do it. We may have had arguments about that.
Okay.
Him lack of child helping with the children.
But you the woman.
What's that got to do with it? The only thing I can do that he can't do is have them. What?
I'm just saying that you the woman, so you take care of the kids. No?
Once I have them, it's fair game. No, that's the only thing he can't do. He can't have them. When I push him out, he's supposed to help with that.
So did you address that with him?
Yes.
And how did that go?
I was home with the kids.
You ended up still staying home with them?
Yeah.
With them, because I wasn't born yet. Right?
Right.
This is BE, before Erin. So you end up staying home
most of the time.
Like, you mean like on nights and weekends?
Oh, I didn't go away on weekends, leave my babies. No, that's for me. No.
So,
but like Saturdays or something. I can remember maybe by the time you came along, he had taken your brothers and maybe a niece or something like that to the beach once. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it seems like he was trying to put it all on me. Like he should do some things with the kids without me.
Mm. So, okay, if it seems like his expectation was that you would take care of the kids, but then does that mean that he was providing for everything financially?
No.
Oh, man.
No.
You were still working at this time?
When I had the children? Mm-hmm. Of course.
Okay.
I still did because that's what I wanted to do.
So you wanted to be Superwoman and be a mom and work?
Of course. What did I say about my degree? It wasn't going to waste. No. And my family needed it too, as well as me wanting to do it. We needed to do it.
Because you needed both incomes.
Right.
Okay. So I don't know what year we at this point. So let's say in the beginning, who was the breadwinner, I guess, at that time?
Me.
You
Me.
were the breadwinner.
Well, in the beginning, it was kind of equal. Then, even after that, I ended up being the primary breadwinner.
Okay, so you've been a breadwinner like most of the marriage?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, how you feel about that?
I feel like I'm supporting my family.
I don't want to be the breadwinner.
But if you can, if you need to, you will be. Correct? If you need to, you will be.
Define need to.
If you're, all right, if your significant other is making $15,000 a year.
That ain't my significant other.
Well, listen. and you're making 50. You're saying you won't use your 50 to help with the 15,000?
So here's the thing. We got to start from the beginning because this is not possible. I can't even go along with this scenario.
Okay, if he's making 50,000, you're making 100,000.
That's not gonna happen.
But look, this is my story.
Okay, but I can't get into your story because that's not possible.
Okay, so go ahead and you make up your own story.
I'm just.
Yeah. But if it helps my family, I'm going to do what I need to do to help my family.
And you were okay with being the breadwinner?
Yes. Okay. If I was the breadwinner, what were we going to do?
So did you go into this knowing that you were going to be the breadwinner?
No.
Okay. So you was already in it once you realized that you were the breadwinner.
Right.
I don't know what I would have done.
You would have supported your family. Hopefully, you were raised better than that. You would do what's necessary. And that was necessary.
I hope so.
And that was necessary. You would.
So because I don't know, because I don't know that my family includes children. So if it's just me and him.
I know we're talking about us.
We were.
Okay.
But I'm just talking about now, because we keep trying to make this my reality. I don't know that my family includes children. And so.
Okay, get back on my family.
Okay. So you're the breadwinner most of the time. You're okay with that because you got to support your family.
Right.
So now you got 3 kids. That's a lot of kids. No, that's not a lot of kids.
I was raised with 7 brothers and sisters, remember?
But y'all didn't all live in a house at once?
No, 5 of us did.
5 of y'all lived in a house at one time?
Well, maybe, let's see. Yeah, 5 or 6. Yeah.
That's wild. That's a lot. But so I guess, and I think it's a little bit easier since our gaps are so drastic. So you really only had 2 kids at a time.
You talking about you and your brothers?
So, but you had my brothers together. They are only 4 years apart. So you had them like together. So how was it being like a mom of 2?
It was fun. I had fun with my babies.
It was fun?
Yes, it's fun with my babies.
Oh, what did you do with your babies?
The normal things.
Like what? I don't know. I wasn't there. What's normal?
The same thing I did with you, museums, parks.
I don't remember that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think you did it.
Yeah, I did it. Do it all my children. But I also made sure, they got to the museums. And, follow their interests at school.
Did my dad go to the museums and stuff too?
No?
So you would take 2 kids out by yourself?
Yes, my children were well behaved. They knew what they expected of them.
Did you take them out to eat too?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
My children were well behaved. They knew that teacher told them what they were expected. Not, this is what you do in your house, this is what you do outside. My children knew what they were supposed to do. They knew I never was supposed to be embarrassed. They didn't do the fallout. We were fine. I can't remember ever my children falling out.
Wow. Okay. So did y'all have different disciplinarian ideas? Like, how did you merge your own, like you are one of 8. He is one of 1. How did you combine your ideas around family and children? Because that clearly y'all had different ideas.
Like what?
Like in terms of raising children, and no, you always had the same ideas?
I mean, I don't know what you mean by ideas.
Like in terms of how children should be raised or how to discipline them or anything like that?
I can't ever remember beating my children, although I wasn't opposed to it. I could put my teacher stare on them, and they would straighten right up.
I got a beating before.
Did you?
From my dad.
Oh, what?
I was in 10th grade though, or 11th grade.
What?
Okay. And you sat on the bed and you cried.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
I remembered it. And from my math class.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I taught you guys how you're supposed to act. That's the way you acted. No smart mouth, no cursing. We didn't curse around you. Mm-hmm. I don't think we ever argued around you. Daddy always went to parent-teacher conferences with me. We went to your shows. So we did a lot together.
And I will say this, because you mentioned not arguing around us. I agree with that. And I think maybe that is where I get the idea that you don't have to argue in relationships. I don't argue. And I guess this is where I get it from. I never thought about this connection. I don't argue. I feel like we can have a conversation. You could tell me what I did that you don't like and vice versa, but don't raise your voice at me. Don't cuss at me. Like, we're not going back and forth. I just don't do it. And so maybe this is where it comes from, because I never saw it growing up. However, on the flip side, I feel like not seeing you guys argue or anything, combined with my really shy personality, I don't feel like I knew how to handle conflict until I grew up and I had to learn how to do it, like in my big grown age.
I believe that. And that's the one thing I think I would have made you guys tougher. And that, of course, the way I raised you so lovingly, I think I sent you out in the world thinking you were going to think, oh, people are going to love me. And then when people disagreed with you or looked at you strange, I thought I did you a disservice, because you were like, why don't they love me? Why don't they like me? I think then that part, I made you guys kind of soft. You know what I mean?
That might be true. So I don't know if I went out looking for people to love me. I do think I was like a people pleaser at one point, like wanting people to like me. But I feel like that was very short lived, like only when I was like younger. Do I feel like you guys sent me out into the world soft? I don't know if I would say you sent me out into the world soft. I don't know if I would say that. I will say I didn't realize that everybody wasn't raised like me until I was grown.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. So, right, like how college was it was expected of me. I didn't know that everybody doesn't go to college. I didn't know that everybody doesn't come from a 2-parent household. I didn't know, right, that people had to work, as teenagers. I didn't know a lot of these things. Mm-hmm. So I will say I was raised in a bubble, and I did not realize that my bubble was not indicative or a reflection of what a lot of people that I soon encountered experience. I will say that. Not until I got to my big grown age, and I was like, oh, that's different. And then I think that's when I started asking more questions and becoming a lot more understanding of people.
Right. So this was our dynamic. You always knew you were going to go to college. Mm-hmm. That's simply because your father and I went to college. Our parents didn't go to college. I didn't finish. Most of my parents never finished elementary school. But it was just automatic that I knew you were going to college. So that was our dynamic with our family. You're going to college. You're going to get good grades. We're going to support you. not thinking that it reflects on how you encountered other people. You know, but they were my responsibility. You guys were my responsibility. You were our responsibilities. You know, so there's nothing we can do to change that. But it's just something you have to learn when you're away from us.
Okay, so now you got 3 kids. You had the best child of all. You have me, but I feel like that doesn't. I don't know that. So you were older when you had me. So y'all,
Right.
both of y'all were 39 when you had me.
And I just found out that's called a geriatric mother.
It is.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
No.
All this time?
No.
Yeah, girl. At 39, that's almost 40.
That's almost 40. But look what I got.
Yeah, that's geriatric.
Sounds like I should be in a wheelchair, but
yeah, like that's. I'm surprised your uterus still worked. But I feel like, okay, so how was that being an older parent?
I didn't think about it.
No?
No, why would I think about that? Like, you know, that's me. That's got nothing to do with you. You know, if I was walking with a cane and had a big belly, it's not your business.
But I feel like you did used to get tired when I used to want to go outside. You used to be tired.
That's because I was teaching.
You used to be tired. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's normal for me to be tired. Yeah. So go ahead.
You used to be tired. I do remember that. But by the time, so we're so much like our age difference, like my brothers are 7 and 11 years older than me. So all 3 of us, I don't really ever remember living like with both of them in a house.
With both your brothers?
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with your brain?
Because by the time so we lived together in the house for what, 5 years? Because when I graduated from kindergarten, he graduated from high school.
Yeah, we were here.
Right. So I don't remember like the first 5 years.
Okay.
So I remember like him coming home from like school. He was always mean and stuff. Always mean my whole entire life. My whole entire life. He's been mean to me.
Go on.
So how was it being like having a girl as opposed to 2 sons? Was it any different?
Shopping was different.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, no, you were still just a lovey-dovey girl.
Okay. And so give me the biggest of life events that you feel like kind of changed the dynamics of your marriage.
Of course, when we had our first baby.
Okay, that changed the dynamics. How so?
The dynamic. Because now there's 3 of us.
Okay.
And there was one I had to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
Finally found someplace and moving from my mother-in-law.
Okay.
It was really rough on me because I had her baby.
And she was in the business.
Huh?
Was she in your business?
She wasn't in our business, but she wasn't very nice to me. Mm-hmm. Because your dad was very spoiled. Mm-hmm. She had him later in life.
Okay.
She was truly a geriatric patient.
Was she?
Oh.
How old was she? I never knew that.
I don't know, but look at her. I mean,
not look at her. I don't know.
No, but you know, she like the first time I went to his house, we were walking through the hall together. She said, "Ain't it time for you to go home?" I said, "It's time for me to go home. I gotta go home." You know, she was, you know, anything butter wouldn't melt in his mouth.
No, wait, time's out. Butter wouldn't melt. I never heard that one, Mom.
Butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. In other words, he was just so sweet and so perfect that, you know, he put butter in your mouth, it wouldn't even melt in his mouth. You just
because his mouth not hot.
Because he's a perfect child.
I ain't never heard. Have y'all heard that one? Butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. I never heard that one, Mom. I done heard a lot of stuff that you said, but I never heard butter wouldn't melt in his mouth.
So, and then her sister would try to chime in.
Okay.
And her sister said, "Well, you getting married?" I said, "Well, yeah." She said, "You didn't ask us." I said,
"That's how I made me talk?"
Yeah.
Deep like that?
No, come on.
I don't remember that.
So I said, "You know, I'm not marrying you. You know, come on." I was very respectful, but certain times they really got on my nerves.
Mm-hmm.
And when we finally moved, we were standing out on the back deck.
Mm-hmm.
And your grandmother came out. She said, "You like it out here?" I said, "Yes." She said, "I don't like it." I said, I hope you never move here. I was very respectful, but at her funeral, people were saying, oh, she just loved you. I said, well, she should have showed me, before she passed away. Now his father, just a sweet, with his orange soda.
Always orange soda. It would be flat and still drinking it.
Yeah. So that was an entirely different
dynamic
with Papa. Yeah.
Okay. So y'all still married.
Still.
What were, I guess, your biggest lessons over this marriage?
Not to lose myself when you're dead.
Okay.
You can't make someone love you or like you.
Where did that lesson come from?
That came from because people would say, well, with my friends that really, really know me, and I say, well, Malcolm doesn't want to do that. She said, God, why are you still staying? It's none of your business why I'm still staying. I still love him. That all. So, and you don't measure by degree, like I love you 50%, I love you 50%, I love you 70, I love you 30, It's, you can only control yourself and how you feel and what you want to do, okay? You can't get wrapped up in another person.
So you feel like you love my dad more than he loved you? Loved you?
I don't know. He says he loves me.
Did you feel love?
I feel love, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I feel I
Okay.
But it's how my feelings with him, not, I can't control how he feels about me.
But if you felt like you loved him more, he didn't love you as much.
You can't control how much love somebody loves you.
But you still stay?
Because I love him. I told you he had my nose open.
What? Because of love?
You can't control how the other person. It's how I feel toward him. He wasn't mistreating me. He wasn't mistreating my children or anyone that I love. I loved him, and I still love him.
To this day?
To this day.
You still love him after 57 years?
Of course.
Do you feel like love is all you needed to stay strong?
All I need is to stay strong.
Like to keep the relationship going.
Oh, yeah, if I didn't love him, I wouldn't be here.
So love is the reason that you're still here?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What's your definition of love?
That was a feeling.
Okay.
That I have. I don't know how to describe it. I would be really, really sad if I didn't have his love.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe it. It's just inside of me that I love you.
Love was enough.
Love is more than love, yeah.
But what did he do to make you love him so much?
I don't know. I told you I just saw him, and there it was. Bing.
This is interesting. Okay, so any other life events that changed? So you said having the first kid, buying a house. Any other life changes?
Having our grandchildren.
Having your grandchildren changed your marriage?
Well, he spends more time. Seems like, I don't know if it changed our marriage. If you're just talking marriage, my retirement changed. Because I'm able to get out more. Until he became sick.
And then he didn't. So once you retired, you could travel more. He still wouldn't travel with you.
Nah.
And you were okay with that?
Okay, yeah. You know, I cut my traveling buddy.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd be okay.
And he would, why? I mean, and he would, what is he going to say? You can't go. What? What?
I have stopped talking to people because they don't travel.
Well, you don't love them.
Well, this is in the beginning. That's like that's one of the get to know you questions. Do you have a passport? Do you travel? And if they don't, I have stopped talking to people because they don't like to travel. They want to stay on the block.
Well, you don't like them then.
That's part of the reason why I don't. They're small. I feel like if you're not willing to travel, not that it has to be your favorite thing, but you want to stay on the block, you small minded.
Okay, so then when you go back on the block, say hi to him. Say hey.
I'm not on that block.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anything else? Any other life events that changed things for you?
seeing all my children graduate from college. That was a good thing for us. And I think all the years we've been married, my husband took me on three trips.
3 trips in 57 years. And you okay with that?
I'm okay with it because I don't stay home. If he doesn't want to do it, I'm not going to just sit there. I'm just go ahead and make it so. So every year, I take a vacation.
And you okay with him not going?
I'm okay. Yeah,
clearly, I can't get over this part.
I would probably have more fun with them. Like, for example, I like to go to the casino.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't understand why I like to go to the casino.
Mm-hmm.
So I took him to the casino with me one day. He stood over me. I was so miserable. I said, please don't go again.
Okay.
So I left him home. So he stays home now. As long as he doesn't try to restrict my activities, we're cool. We're good.
So looking back over the 57 years, is there anything that you would do differently?
I'd get my husband a better paying job.
Okay.
So we could go on trips. If he didn't want to go on trips, I can go on better trips.
Okay.
That's about it, I guess.
That's the only thing you would do differently.
I guess get more money, have more money.
Knowing at year 57, almost 57, knowing what you know now, like if you had all this information 57 years ago, would you have still married them?
I don't know. I would think I would.
Okay.
Because the love is there.
You keep going back to this L word.
I love your dad.
And that's enough.
And that's enough.
And I always say love is not enough.
Love is enough for me simply because he doesn't try to restrict what I want to do. I'm not all rolled up in him like when the beginning when we first got married. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I want to be with him all the time. I'm good with it. Yeah, but I'm not going to have him order me around or. I think there was like a little jealousy there when we first got married, the way my parents treated me.
He was jealous of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I let him know in the beginning what I would stand for, what I wasn't going to stand for. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't know what to tell you. It's just the love I have for him. And mm-hmm. Now, especially now that he's ill, mm-hmm. It's not just an obligation to take care of him. Mm-hmm. I'm glad I'm there to take care of him because I'm a caregiver.
Right. So now that's a whole nother layer. So we fast forward into 2020? Mm-hmm. 2020, Christmas, we at the table, daddy has a stroke. And so now he needs care. Can't do much for himself. And this is a big, the vows and sickness and in health, that's a real thing. And so now we in sickness. And how does that make you feel, having to be his caregiver, having to change him and not having your partner the way that you used to and all of that? How does that make you feel?
Tired. Mm-hmm. But I'm happy to do it.
I'm happy to change his
I'm
behind?
happy to do it simply because that's like what I signed up for. And that's part of love. Love is you do what's necessary to make your partner feel good or whatever. Mm-hmm. If I was the person that said, oh, okay, I'm going, see you later, that's not me. I like taking care of the people that I love. It's just simple as that. It's just simply now that I'm not unable to, but I don't mind.
So you really didn't mind having to take care of him?
Not because it was necessary. You do what's necessary.
So you ain't think twice about it?
Oh, no.
That's crazy. Because that's serious, to go from having a partner to now having to care for your partner. That's a whole different dynamic in the relationship. Now that's like your child.
Yes.
That's like now you got a fourth child.
Yes.
How do you do it?
You do what's necessary.
I feel like you just keep saying like, just do it, or I just did it. I feel like it's not that easy.
It's difficult, but I mean, it's what I'm supposed to do, and that's what I do.
Because I've definitely heard stories, or I've known people where, right, their parent has gotten sick, and the spouse was like, "Oh, worry, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. I'm out of here. I can't do this."
No, that never crossed my mind.
But you jumped in head first. Bring him home. He used to be in a nursing home. You wasn't happy with that, and you said, "Bring my husband home." And now he's home and fully dependent on care, and you still cool with it.
Yes.
You still like him?
I love him.
Like and love are two different things.
I love him. I love my husband.
But you don't always like him.
Oh, I always like him. I don't like when he calls me constantly, but I always will love him.
That's a whole different. That's a whole different dynamic. So he calls constantly all day long, because of the effects of the stroke. I don't know how you deal with it.
You just deal with it.
You keep saying like it's easy. Just deal with it.
It's not easy just because it's something you have to do. Okay? It's something you have to do. And unless you're one of those people, peace out. No. I'm not one of those people, It's almost like if I had to take care of my parents.
That's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. It's not easy. Of course not.
That's hard, having to take care of parents.
Yes, I know you know, baby.
Trust me, I know.
I know.
So, okay. If you guys have questions, feel free to put them in, because we're coming up on an hour. I don't want to keep us too long. So if you have questions, put them in the chat, and if we haven't answered them already, we'll get to them. So, a caregiver now. So all the 57 years y'all been together, 50 years married, what are your most memorable moments?
Having my children. My wedding. The wedding was all right. The few trips my husband did take me on.
Okay.
I guess that's it. Oh, him questioning your date when he came to pick you up that time.
But that wasn't even that serious. I ain't even like him like that.
It was very entertaining to watch him be the dad.
What decade was most enjoyable?
My 20s.
Your 20s. So when you were still out here dating multiple people before you got married to my dad?
I got married when I was 25.
Okay, so but you said y'all dated for 7 years. So most of the time y'all was still dating. And
we were 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. We were married 25.
That's wild. Okay. So what would be your biggest, or what would be your advice to other married couple? We have married people listening and watching. What advice do you have for them?
Okay. When I first got married, I didn't go into marriage and say, okay, we're going to be married 50 years. We're going to be married 60 years. You just take it day by day. Don't get absorbed on each other. Okay. Don't, like I told you, the honeymoon phase, where I was trying to do everything he wanted to do. Don't do that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. How are you different as a person now than when you were 57? Other than the age, 57 years ago, what have you learned about yourself?
What have I learned about myself?
57 years is a long time.
Okay, yeah, I've learned not to be absorbed by my husband.
Okay, not all about him.
My boyfriend, not all about him. That I'm still an individual. Be an individual. You can agree with him. You can do things with him, but he also has to agree and do things with you. If he doesn't, just keep going on. Do you?
Do you? Okay. Do you? Let me see. We had another question. I don't know if you're gonna have an answer to this question, but what questions would you ask someone? Oh, maybe you. Okay, so I know you said you just saw my dad and you just knew that he was husband material. However, looking back over your marriage and knowing what it takes for you to be in love and stay married for 50 years and with somebody for 57 years, what questions do you feel like we should be asking to determine if this person is a good husband or a good wife?
I don't know how you can meet somebody and say, okay, and ask them certain questions right off the bat.
Like what?
Like you said, you ask somebody, you got a passport? This when you ask people, what's your 5 years goal? You might not be with this person for 5 years. Enjoy that moment. Enjoy the moment. Unless if you're looking for a mate, okay, they can tell you anything. They can blow smoke up your skirt. You don't.
Okay.
You don't ask because it's not necessarily they're going to tell you the truth. You have to have a feeling for this person. If you want to establish a relationship with this person, go out with them a couple of times. Because they can tell you anything. What they show you is entirely different things sometimes.
So, but wait, Mom.
Yes, dear.
Let's back up. So, you saying it's based on feelings, not necessarily about the questions but how am I supposed to know? I feel like there's some questions that you can ask up front. I'm the queen of asking questions. I don't make it an interview. However, I very much believe in asking questions. So, okay, let me tell you the questions that I believe in asking, and you let me know whether or not you feel like yay or nay.
Okay.
And I'm only going to start with like the questions I believe in asking, like before the first date, to decide if it even needs to be a first date.
Okay.
Okay. So I ask, what type of relationships are you open to? Because I need to make sure that you are also open to marriage. Because if you say you just want to have something casual, we don't need to go out. I want to get married. No, that don't make sense. How does that make sense, Mom?
Because they can lie.
They could, but let's assume he's an honest man of God.
They lie too. I bet TD Jakes lied. Come on.
But Mom, all right, let me finish the question so you don't believe in that question. I asked if they want kids or not.
Is this the first date or even before you go on a date?
This is before I go on a date.
Oh my God, no.
Why not? I feel like times have changed. So let me explain again. I ask, do they want kids? I'm not sure that I want kids. So if that's a deal breaker for them, no need in us going out.
On the first date?
Before we even go on the first date.
No.
Why am I going on a date if you don't ever want to get married?
You go on a date to go have fun.
No. I'm too old to be just having fun. At this big grown age, Mom. At this big grown age, I'm not just going out just to have fun.
No. You don't ask somebody. You haven't even gone out with somebody. You say, you want kids?
I do.
You want to get married?
Absolutely.
It's like you're desperate.
No, it's not about being desperate.
Oh my God, no.
What types of relationships are you open to at this point in your life? Because to the extent he says he only wants friends, we're not going out.
You don't just casually date.
I'm too old to be casually dating, Mom.
You trying to find a husband?
Yes. Yes. At my big grown age, I am. I'm not going out just because.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going out for a free meal. I'm too old for that.
Okay.
At my big grown age.
Okay.
So do you understand now why?
Yeah, but I wouldn't go out with you.
Why?
Because right off the bat, maybe he just wants to have a nice evening with a nice, intelligent woman. But you shoot him down right away and you said, you want to have kids?
I am not going out just because.
Okay, so that's all right. That narrows your dating pool. But go ahead, keep going.
Right? What's the point of dating? To get married. And so if we don't want the same thing, if we both don't want marriage, why are we dating?
Okay.
What's the point of dating if we don't want the same thing?
So go out and have fun.
No,
Okay.
Mom, I am too old to just be going out to have fun.
Okay, so you narrowed your dating pool, so it's okay. Go ahead.
I'm too
Next.
So I asked what type of relationship they're open to. I asked if they want kids because I need to know that because I'm not sure that I do. I asked if they believe in God. I'm not even supposed to ask that.
Oh, well, that's okay. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. But the baby stuff is go ahead. All right, so your pool is down. Go ahead.
I feel like that's the only ones I asked before the first date.
Okay, you might be able to squeeze in there.
I feel like that's the only ones I asked before the first date. Okay. But Mom.
Yes, dear.
So you met my dad when you were 18, though. That's different.
Yes, it is.
Than 35.
That's it.
I'm not going outside just to have fun.
Okay.
Or to eat. Like, I'm not doing it.
And that's fine. That's fine. I'm just letting you know you're down with your dating pool. I would go out to have fun. For company. Go ahead.
But, okay, Mom. Take into account my age.
Lord.
Exactly. The time I have left. And you don't understand why to ask questions up front?
Go ahead, I do now. Yeah.
My pool's a lot smaller than that, but that's just what I asked before the first date.
Okay.
That's crazy. My sister said I'm still a baby. But no way. I'm not people agreeing with you that just to go out to have fun. I agree that we do have to have fun. However, to the extent you do not want to get married ever in life, we're not going on a date.
You're not dead. People in their 60s and 70s, 80s get married.
But if I ask somebody, if somebody tells me he never wants to get married, why are we going on a date?
So you've never met anyone that didn't want to get married that you want to go on a date with?
Why?
Okay. Next.
No, seriously, Mom. Why am I going out on a date if he never wants to get married?
Because you don't like to have fun. Everything is serious. Everything leads up to a date, to a marriage here. You're cutting off a lot of experiences by saying, you don't want to get married. I don't want to be fooled. I don't want to be part of you. You want to go out. You want to have a social life. To have a social life, you have to date people. And now, after you're going out with someone, then if you think, well, maybe he's possible yet, then you ask them those questions.
But so here's the issue with doing it that way. If let's say we vibing and we go out and we have lots of fun and we go on multiple dates, and now you say, okay, maybe he might be the one. I asked, do you ever want, not necessarily marry me, do you ever see yourself getting married? And he says, no. Now I'm up the creek without a paddle.
But you've had a good time.
No.
You've had a good time going up that creek.
I just wasted my time.
That's not a waste of time. You've had a good time. If you had a good time, that's not wasting your time.
I'm too old. I'm not here for a good time.
Okay, so next. Now you sound like a desperate person.
I'm not desperate.
Go.
I'm just saying that I'm not entertaining anything that's not potentially serious.
Okay. Next.
Let me see if we have any other questions here. They're laughing at us.
Any men asking questions?
Somebody said, what's the point of being friends?
You have fun with friends. And don't expect any expectations afterwards. You have no expectation afterwards. You have fun. A friend can take you to the theater, take you out to dinner. You know?
Child, times is different. Ain't no platonic friend doing all that.
Well, that's a shame. I feel sorry for you guys now. It is, Becky.
And so I'm not saying be serious, right? I'm not asking, do you want to marry me? I just need to make sure that we are shooting for the same things. Like,
Well, if they're not asking to marry you, what's it your business then? Why is it your business?
because so I made a video about this earlier today. I asked, what types of relationships are you open to in this season of your life, right?
Okay.
Me, I am open to marriage. I want to get married.
Okay.
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 If I ask a guy this and he says, oh, I just want to have fun, I don't want to ever get married, there is no need in us going out.
Okay.
Now, that's not to say, now, I don't believe that just because we both want marriage, that this is definitely my husband, but I know whether or not I'm wasting my time. Okay. I'm not, somebody said if you ask prematurely, their minds can change. I'm not going to bank on somebody changing their mind.
Right.
What's a good age to get married?
When you find the right one.
Mm. You said that to make me feel better.
No.
Because I wanted to be married by 25 and then I gave God an extra 5 years.
Oh, you gave God an extra 5 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Till 30.
You know,
And I'm
I
past
think
it.
I think personally in like your early like teens, in your 20s, you really don't even know who you are. You know, you really should explore things like go to college or something else. Don't just jump into a marriage in your early 20s.
Okay. Not the early. So
Or
what about late?
teens or 19, 20.
So maybe like late 20s, early 30s, like 30.
When you find the right one.
Thanks for making me feel better, Mom.
Yeah.
You think the men should be asking what? Just the fact that he's not asking is a move on.
I think the men should be. If you're asking those questions, why can't the men?
No, somebody. I don't. Is that what you're talking about? The men should be asking those questions, and not the woman. I don't know. I need clarification. Do you think there's a such thing as the right one?
I think so.
You think so?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think so. Me as a relationship coach, I think that there is a such thing as. So here's the thing. I think there's definitely a such thing as the wrong one.
Definitely.
And so I think the right one is just the inverse of that. So so the reason this show is called The Perfect Partner is I absolutely believe that there is a such thing as the perfect partner. And so when people be like, "Oh, there's no such thing as perfect," but when you use perfect and partner together, you're using perfect as an adjective. And perfect as an adjective means having the right qualities and characteristics, all the desired and the required qualities and characteristics. And I absolutely believe that you can have a partner that has everything that you need. Now, that is predicated on you truly knowing what should be on your list of requirements. People have a list that includes things that should be on the preference list or the things that they should compromise on. But I think to the extent you have a realistic list of things that you absolutely need in a partner, meaning y'all similar to y'all practice the same religion, y'all want the same type of marriage, y'all are friends. I absolutely believe that there's a such thing as the right one, or having um the right partner. So somebody said define the right one. So to me, like I said, the perfect partner, just what I said, right? Having all of the required or desired characteristics. I think that's what the definition said. I've memorized it at this point. But it is absolutely predicated on you knowing what characteristics are most important to you. And that is going to be different from person to person, right? This is part of what we're going through during the workshop to make sure that you truly know what you want and need in a partner, right? It's going to be different for every person, but people also need to realize that there's a difference between what you need and what you want. You need somebody to want the same type of relationship. you want somebody that looks a certain way, right? There's definitely a need and a want. You need to be friends. You want somebody that's going to take care of you, right? There's a difference. And I think that is really where people go wrong and not having the correct things on their list. Your list shouldn't be that long. It should only be a few things. I think I got like 4 things on my mandatory list. It's not, if you got a long list of things that you require and it has to be, you might need to go back and look at that list. Any other questions from my mom? Any other questions? June will be 50 years that my parents have been married. They've been together for 57 years. That's a long time to be looking at somebody. To go from being, meeting at 18 until now being a caregiver for my dad. And even having your own things. Oh. Can you write your question again? I didn't see it. Mina. Can you write your question again, Mina? So I'll let you give our Thriving Thursday tip. And so on Thursdays, which is when the episode will come out, I usually give a tip to help people thrive in their singleness. And I don't mean single in terms of relationship status. I mean single in terms of you being a whole person by yourself and knowing that everything you have is everything you need to be the best version of yourself. So since you are our guest today, what tip are you going to give everybody for Thriving Thursday?
Okay, my tip would be don't get all absorbed by your partner. Okay, you have your things together. Okay, you have your things, he has his things. It's almost like bank accounts. You have a joint account, he has his account, you have your account. So, and these things, just don't be absorbed in your partner. These are just suggestions, what worked for me and my husband might not work for you. Okay, so sit back and think about the things that I've said. When we got married, I didn't say, "Oh, we're going to stay here 50 years, 100 years, or whatever like that, whatever that is." Okay, so use what you can from what we've said, and then disregard the rest.
That's a good point. Okay, that's a good. So let me ask the next question. What did you do if ever there was a financial strain, right? As you being the woman and being the breadwinner most of the marriage, right? How did you keep your femininity and still respect my dad as the man?
How did I keep my femininity? Wasn't the question. I tried to I took on extra work when I could as like a workshop leader or something like that at the school board. Um, what else did I do?
So,
I did what I thought was necessary. I tried to find something else to do to help.
so do you feel like even though you were the breadwinner or you are the breadwinner still currently, do you feel like you still respected my dad as the man of the relationship?
Of course, that didn't change that.
How not?
Because being a breadwinner doesn't make you the man of the house. It doesn't make you the man of the house. I still respected him. And I assumed he was doing the best he could. So that doesn't change that my feeling toward him like that.
That's interesting. I don't
So
know
in
that.
other words, you're saying whoever wields the money runs the relationship?
I wouldn't say runs the relationship, but if I gotta, and you didn't necessarily say this, but if I gotta take care of you like a child, I don't know that I'm going to respect you as much.
Oh no. Well, you're not in a very good relationship then, because who makes the money doesn't determine whether or not you're the man of the house or anything. So also, since I was carrying most of the burden, suddenly I was the man of the house. Well, what does that mean?
I mean,
So what does that mean?
I'm
It means
just
nothing. It's just that I write the checks out. but it comes out for the Darden household.
That's interesting. I don't know that I would feel that way.
Oh well.
I feel like I would have a child.
So then what are you going to do?
If I am taking care of everything financially, like, I mean, everything.
So then what's that going to look like?
Why are you here?
So you're going to put the love of your life that you married and had children with out because he's not doing well?
I keep telling you, love is not enough.
Okay.
We've had this conversation before, Mom. And I've told you that love is not enough. You say it's all about love. So since you were, so did whoever was making the money dictate who made like decisions for the household or for the children? And
we made decisions together.
Even though you were paying for everything?
Mm-hmm. I didn't pay for everything, but yeah.
Right, you didn't say that. So, okay.
See, I don't understand this, the mindset nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But who makes the money? We still make decisions together. I just happen to write the checks. But that didn't change my feeling toward your dad.
Oh, that is really awesome because I haven't heard that. And honestly, I don't know that I would feel like that.
I don't think you would.
I don't know and I don't mean just in a rough patch. I can hold you down for a little bit, but this is just the dynamic completely. I'm okay with it.
Okay, you got the wrong partner, or you're not.
I need a different partner.
Yeah.
Which is why I ask questions. It is hard. So what has been the hardest thing about your 50 years of marriage?
His dad having a stroke.
Him getting sick.
Yeah.
And why has that been the hardest?
Because I can't help him where I think I should. I can't help him.
Because you decided. So not only did Daddy have a stroke, you were taking care of him. Then you decided you wanted to fall down the steps and break a bunch of stuff. Good job, sis. Good job. All the way down the steps, all the basement steps. And so do you feel like it has changed since before your accident, when you were actually taking care of him, when you could physically, and now when you can't, do you feel differently?
Toward him?
Or just in general?
I don't know what you mean.
So you said you feel like you weren't taking care of him, you can't take care of him the way that you should. That's only been since the accident.
Well, no, before then, because he's gained a lot of weight and I can't manipulate him the way I should. So I need to find, I need to have help with that.
And it made you feel bad?
Sometimes, yeah.
That got to be a whole lot of love.
It is.
And I don't know if I would ever love somebody that much. To change somebody behind, that's crazy. That's crazy.
But it's necessary. And I would rather do it than have someone who didn't really want to do it,
Of course.
So I do for my baby.
See, and so, okay, there's a few things that you keep bringing up that clearly love is enough for you. And you keep talking about being so absorbed.
I think we have different definitions of love.
All right, what's your definition of love then?
Love is like a feeling.
Okay.
You would do almost anything for that person.
Almost.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't kill anybody for it.
I might kill somebody for mine. If we be honest. Okay, go ahead.
I don't even know how to describe it. Because I tell anybody, I will do like almost anything for him. It's just it's just a feeling. It's just something I need. I love him.
See, and I feel like love is the result of things. So your person has to do certain things, and love is the result. What that person needs to do is going to be different from person to person. Some of you, it may be giving you the emotional support that you need. It may just be in your friend. It's going to be different. We all have different love languages. But I don't think love is enough.
Well, can you have a relationship without love?
No,
Okay.
you shouldn't. You can, and I think people do.
Yeah.
I don't think you should though.
Okay. Good.
But I need more than love.
What else do you need?
I need you to contribute financially.
Okay.
So I don't think that. That's a good question. So somebody said, so you can only love when they do something for you. What happens if they can't no longer do anything for you? That's a good question.
And that's a question for you.
Yeah, and I'm acknowledging that that's a good question.
Okay. Do you have a good
because
answer?
Clearly now that my dad is sick, he can't do for you anymore. That's a good question, ma'am. I might need to rethink my definition of love. Look, I am not above being corrected and being wrong. So let me think on it. I'll think on it. Yeah, I'll have to think on it. What has been your favorite part of being married? Did I ask you that already?
No.
What's your favorite part of being married?
Other than having my children.
Yeah, I'm talking about between you and my dad.
Oh.
What?
He's a good romantic partner.
Okay.
Good romantic. I know you don't want to hear that, but he's a good romantic partner. Fix your face.
Okay, go ahead.
That's all I need to say. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody else got questions? Yeah, I feel the same way, nephew.
What?
Covering his eyes.
You asked, I answered.
So we have another question. When you were upset, whenever you guys have been upset or been at odds, how did you handle that? What's the best practice when you have been upset?
I usually walk away.
For how long?
I've walked from our house on Harvard Avenue.
Oh, you mean like actually walk?
Yes. What you thought I meant?
Just go to the other room. Okay, so you go.
Sometimes if I was really upset, I'd walk from our house and on Harvard Avenue, John Gloria's house on Chona Street.
So you take a walk. Mm-hmm. What's the purpose of the walk?
To cool down and think about it.
And then what happens when you come back?
Nothing. We don't say anything.
So how do you resolve the issue?
That's it. He doesn't like to argue either.
I mean, you don't got to argue, but how do you resolve the issue? Do you just never resolve conflict?
I don't have a conflict that we haven't resolved, but with that practice, or your grandmother hollering down the steps, "Hey!"
So, yeah,
there's never been a conflict that we haven't solved with just walking away from each other.
So that means it wasn't really a conflict. If you could just walk away and not have to have a conversation, then there was no conflict. That means it was made out of nothing.
There you go. I guess I can't remember anything that we haven't solved by just walking away from each other. And let's let it drop.
So how do you still love him now without the romance? Now that he's sick,
I still have that feeling in my heart for him.
Do you? Even after changing his behind, you still got that feeling?
Still got that feeling. Got my nose open, girl.
Still after 57 years?
57 years, yeah. We got staying power.
That's crazy. That's wild. I don't know. Okay. Any other questions before we get out of here? I don't know. This has been crazy. This has been interesting. I told you guys that I've never really asked any questions about them and their marriage. So this is my first time hearing most of it too. Um, so yeah, it's been eye opening for all of us, and I think there's a lot to say that these ideas that we have that are popular around relationship nowadays, it wasn't it back then, because clearly sis was still dating in year 6 and 7. Like that's just crazy. And I don't think we would go for that nowadays, or just going out dating just for fun. I'm not doing that at my big grown age. Or even just, I don't know, love being enough. And I always say love is not enough. But clearly somebody asked a question and I need to reconsider what I consider love. But that's different. Taking care of your kid and taking care of your spouse, I think, is different. Or do you think it's the same thing?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Taking care of my spouse is different to taking care of my child.
How so?
One thing, my children will listen usually.
Because he don't listen. He doesn't.
And I still treat him as an adult, you know? He's like, so, you know, like we change his briefs rather than changing a diaper, you know? I still respect him in that amount, knowing that he understands some things. So when talking to him, I talk to him like an adult, not like a child.
Yeah, sometimes I wish I could talk to him the way that you talk to him. Because he do be on my nerves too. But that's still my dad. So I feel like I can't. The way that you yell at him, I feel like I can't yell at him the same way.
All the time.
When you frustrated, you do. And I get it, because it's annoying. What you mean by this? So we have a question. Is the person important or the agenda? Got to let go of the agenda and focus on the right person, because I definitely had to let go of my agenda. What do you mean by agenda versus person? What's the agenda? You talking about in terms of taking care of him as he's sick? That's just a personal thing. And I'm just like, I used to think that it wasn't my ministry, but clearly I have had to get over that. Yeah. Any other questions of what you wanted? So what you wanted is not your reality? Does that mean that what you wanted wasn't realistic? Is that what that means? They said, thanks for your insight. So you wanted what you wanted and had to focus on what you could do with your wife. Okay. I get it. So Mom, any other takeaways, any other advice? I don't really believe in giving advice, but I'll let you give if you have anything to say to either those of us that are not married yet but want to be married, or there's a lot of married people on here in their younger areas. Any final words you have to these people?
What works for us might not work for you, as you can plainly see.
Clearly.
Between the generations, it's a big gap. Okay? You do you. I mean, don't get too wrapped up in your husband that, for example, if your spouse was to pass away, don't jump in the casket. Don't.
I'm gonna be just devastated.
Don't, you know? Yes, you'll be sad, but life goes on. That person would not want, if they truly, truly loved you, they wouldn't let you bury yourself in your house and not go out anymore or anything like that. You know, you want to. How can I put it? You're still you. Okay, you join together with this person, but you're still you. Remember, you're still an individual. Sometimes you come together, but you're still an individual. Keep your individuality. That's about it.
Keep your individual. I don't know, Mom. I feel like, God forbid, whenever it's daddy's time, I feel like you're gonna be lost.
I'm still gonna do what I do.
Y'all been together for so long, 57 years.
But
Mom,
I'm not passing away too.
that's half a century.
It's more than half a century, and
All right, we're gonna see. We'll see what happens. So thank you guys so much for joining. Somebody asked how can they donate. I will post a link so that you can donate and support the show. This was actually the last episode of this season. This is episode 15, I think. So we have been rocking for 15 weeks. I appreciate you guys for showing up and engaging in the conversations.
Save the best for last.
Sure. I will be back with season 2. If you guys have any ideas and suggestions on topics or guests you would like me to invite, let me know, right? This platform is for you guys. I enjoy having the conversations, but I try to invite people that I feel like can help you with your relationships or your dating. So if you think of anything, let me know. Don't forget that my January class is open right now, Becoming the Perfect Partner. We're going to get all in your business, figure out, how you can improve as a person first for yourself, right? Emotional intelligence, about being self-aware. And so any work that I do, I always start with you. Who you are, what you want, what you need, and then second, we talk about how you show up as a partner. So this is a continuation in my January class, January the 14th. The link is open, registration is open, and I hope to see you guys around. Thanks for joining us.